Just yesterday, you were living the days of your youth. And today, things are a little different. Well, considerably different. That's because you're well into your midlife stage.
The reality of biology is perhaps pulling the thought of menopause much closer to your cerebrum than ever before, while taking with it thoughts of apprehension and quite possibly trepidation.
Some may fear the hot flashes, others the rumored weight gain, but the menopausal journey of every woman isn't told in the exact same way. Still, our health responses to this new chapter in life can be similar.
Menopause is actually a naturally occurring phase in a woman's life, and it happens when your ovaries, which is the female sex organs, when their function decreases. In order for you to make the diagnosis, 12 consecutive months have had to pass without the period.
The journey comes in stages, and getting to the final could mean an increased risk of health conditions like osteoporosis. So amplifying information, knowledge, and responses about menopause is significant for all women.
So there are 3 main stages of the menopause, right? You have the perimenopause, which is before the actual menopause, the menopause, and post-menopause, which is after. So the perimenopause, also called the climacteric, is the period during which the ovarian function begins to slow down. And so these women now will start to have a slowing down of their periods. This is when the hot flashes will begin, insomnia, mood changes like irritability. And this period typically starts on average at about age 47 and a half.
We're about to meet Joan, who is well into her 40s. And while Joan understands that menopause is certain, what was happening inside her body was nothing she could ever prepare for.
I'm now perimenopausal, and I realized that my body was changing, menstruating became irregular, and this was constant, and it came at a time when it should not have come. So I had to visit the doctor, and she says maybe it's stress. So I thought that okay, it is because of the stress, but it continued. It never stopped, and I'm seeing it for months, and then it picked up speed and became aggressive. My menstrual cycle became aggressive and wouldn't stop. Then I became anemic, and so the doctors were getting very concerned. It was not confirmed until after many tests. My dysmenorrhea was overriding the injections and the tablets that were given. So they were very concerned, so they have to be checking pancreas, liver, a lot of things. I went through procedures. I was the one who started doing a journal, start picking up my different changes, my moods. I realized that my cycle, it just stopped, and the doctor confirmed at that time that it's early menopause I was going through.
Then when you get to the period now of the menopause, this is now where there have been 12 consecutive months of no period. That now you can say, okay, this is the menopause. Post-menopausal, so this would be after there has been 12 months of no period. Fortunately, the symptoms begin to wane, they begin to improve, although not necessarily disappear. They can be up to for 5 years after, and in the minority of women, up to 10 years thereafter.
The point at which menopause decides to make its introduction to a woman is influenced by a number of factors. These can include things like genetics, surgery, and even chemotherapy.
To elaborate, if a woman, for example, is what we call a late bloomer, so she started her periods later in life, maybe age 15, 16 years, she is likely to go into the menopause later. Later meaning the average age being 51, she will likely menstruate until she is 55, 56. And this phenomenon is genetic usually. So if your mom is a late bloomer, you'll be a late bloomer and you'll go into the menopause later. Similarly, if you start menstruating earlier, you're likely to go into the menopause earlier. As it relates to something like surgery, you can go into something called surgical menopause. So if you have had to have your ovaries removed for any reason, then there will be no ovary to function and you will go into the menopause, right? If you unfortunately have had cancer and required chemotherapy, chemotherapy affects rapidly dividing cells, such as the ones in your ovaries, and again that can cause cessation of the function of the ovaries.
I realize I'm getting extremely hot. Even when it is a cool time, I'm extremely hot. A lot of tenderness in my breast, and I realized that I was very fatigued. I will reach home and it's time I just want to sleep. And I was getting up throughout the course of the night feeling extremely hot. I go out and I'm just burning up. And I understand those are hot flashes. Went back to my doctor, but of course, they're not saying that it is at the time because they were more concerned with the dysmenorrhea, the constant bleeding that wouldn't stop.
As it relates to symptoms of the menopause, most women will complain about missed periods, or they had a period in January and it didn't come back until April, and then not again until August, that kind of thing. So the periods are slowing down instead of coming every month as the woman is accustomed to. Additionally, she may experience hot flashes. That's a big irritating one for some women. She can also experience mood swings, insomnia, and vaginal dryness. So signs of the menopause. So these are the things that your doctor will elicit, right? Upon examination particularly, a woman will have certain vaginal changes. So the estrogen, which is one of the hormones that the ovary primarily produces, is responsible for keeping the vaginal skin and tissues plump, richly supplied with blood. So at the time of the menopause, these tissues will appear shrunken, maybe a little paler than normal. And actually, this is the reason why some women experience things like urinary frequency, because those tissues are just, not as plump and they're a bit shrunken. So that's another symptom, actually, that the woman could complain about.
I like the word journey because we're actually journeying, because every day I feel something new, because I'm even getting up and feeling pains in the morning where when I went to bed I was quite fine. A lot of women are afraid and do not speak about this issue because they feel it's unique to them. But I started asking the questions, and then I realized that a lot of persons from age 40 going up to 50, 52 to 55 are experiencing a lot of symptoms that they don't even understand what they are. I'm seeing persons who used to be agile have become slow. They can't walk properly. They're having dizziness. Their vision is blurring, and they're not talking.
Thereafter, on average, women will experience symptoms for up to 5 years on average. However, about 10% of women can have menopausal symptoms for as long as 10 years. So, that can be quite frustrating and irritating, but fortunately, that's the minority of women that will experience that.
Because they've confirmed that I'm now going through early menopause, the argument and the talks with my doctor is different. So I'm looking at my diet, how to change my diet. I realized that at this stage of my life that my body mass is getting larger. So all these have been confirmed, so I now have to exercise more. I drink a lot of water because we easily get dehydrated. And iron is very good because when you start feeling the cramps and the pains, The doctor is always ensuring that you are taking your iron because your blood counts can go down low.
As a woman, there's no way to really decline your enrollment to the menopausal community. It's just another stage of life, as natural as any other.
And while it can come with health issues, menopause in and of itself is not a health problem. In fact, for women like Joan, this experience marks a time of newfound wisdom and liberation.
This new stage of life, I'm accepting it well. I'm enjoying it actually because it comes with experience. What I would advise women who are now going through this stage of their life is that it's nothing to fear. It is something that you should embrace because it also teaches wisdom. The experience will teach you wisdom and you can help other persons. I would advise them to start going to the doctor. Doesn't have to be a gyno. It could be your general practitioner, and start talking to the doctor about what you are experiencing, what you're going through, and start reading up also about it. But never forget to eat properly, exercise, meditate.